We are a group of fourth-year communication students at Simon Fraser University.
4 months ago, we set out to create a documentary in hopes of gaining a better understanding of online dating.
Specifically, our generation has seen a significant incline in online dating, largely due to the availability of new technologies and online dating mediums.
This documentary focuses on assessing the risks associated with the online dating platform Tinder. We decided to download the app and start swiping.
This is our story.
It's about to go down.
We've all downloaded the Tinder app, and we're gonna try and get a date. I hope that works. I don't want to be the only one to not get a date.
Tinder day 2, and I got a date. Yes, so next Thursday I'm going for coffee with one of the 3 matches I got yesterday.
And so far I have 76 matches. So I've met some interesting people, let's put it that way.
But haven't gotten very many matches. I might be too picky, I don't know. Or I could just be ugly, so.
I think our original meeting was actually right at the bar of SFU, and I just approached Abba and was like, hey, how's it going? And we started talking about her Swedishness and that she's from Scandinavia, and we just connected, and then later met on the dance floor, and it just kind of escalated from there.
My friend was on Plenty of Fish, and one night we were up really late, and she was like, you have to try this website, just for even if it was just for fun. I didn't go on it to find somebody, but it just happened to that I ran into him online.
I didn't really have a large set of goals or any particular expectations. When I started doing it, it was kind of like with my friends encouraging me to do it, and I didn't stop dating in real life. I still try to meet people through more regular avenues, like at a bar or at a club, but it was a nice substitute just to throw it in a mix.
I'm back on Plenty of Fish now after taking a break for about 6 months or so I tend to do it for a while, go on a few coffee dates, meet some people. If it doesn't stick or whatever, you take a break or keep going. I think I'd like to meet someone traditionally, but I put in 60, 70 hours a week up here as a grad student, and I don't have time to do the whole traditional dating script, if you want to call it that, so it's just easier to window shop, open up my matches for the week, see who I want to talk to.
Tinder and other apps such as Tinder just make it so much more easier to stay connected and keep in touch with someone.
One, it reflects our desire to connect with people, and when I was growing up, there was the dating scene, and where you would go and do that would be places like bars and things like that. Then that shifted to other places, like maybe coffee shops or maybe even odd places like grocery stores. But meeting people is a very local context. What online dating does is it breaks down that local context, the difficulty of everyday world, right? Find the right people in the right places, having to endure social situations that they don't like. Online dating allows you to customize a dating experience, and I think that's something that people are really interested in.
I think technology definitely played a role in a sense that it's, random text messages like, will you go to the pub, and are you gonna do this, or do you want to come along with this, that unless we had technology, it would, yeah, it's just easier to throw out that invite, but it's not a full-on serious, hey, do you want to go with me to the pub? It's like, hey, what's up, I'm gonna be at the pub, you should come by.
I think it's a symptom of the times. We live in a very plugged-in society, big data, a lot of handheld devices, and I think people are so plugged in and so busy that it's become a form of necessity, whether we like it or not.
Simply because it saves time. You can filter out people real quickly. Also because they get better with internet stuff and applications. So instead of wasting your time and your money at a bar, you go home and within an hour you literally meet 50 different people. You couldn't have that kind of efficiency in real life. So people realize that, and especially women, I guess, get a higher sense of security out of it because there's that extra sort of safeguard, the technology in between.
It has its pros and cons too, because you can easily you can be at home and like talking to someone, you know, dressing up and going out or anything, and I don't know how much easier it is meeting someone face to face too, because I'm not the kind of person that to approach someone else. Like I get really shy, and online is you kind of have this like wall first, right? So I think that wall for me, at least, it was easier.
There's no privacy on the internet whatsoever. When something is on the internet, it's going to be on there forever.
There's always risk to any sort of online activity. You know, is it a large risk? Is it a low risk? And it depends how you go about doing it. You know, people, you know, we calculate these risks and benefits in all our decision making on a daily basis. Stepping outside, getting on a bus, driving our car. You know, we calculate this all the time. But even though we're more open and we put a lot of things online, we're also very calculating about what we put online, where we put things online, and what can be seen about ourselves. You know, like we toggle and play with our privacy on a regular basis.
As more and more of our lives go online, privacy is a huge risk that we have to deal with on a regular basis, and I think it really is up to the individual to decide how much information they want to put out there and what kinds of conversations they want to have online. I think a good rule of thumb in the sort of state we're in right now, this like corporate and state surveillance is always presume that you're being spied on and then proceed from there is sort of how I would think about spying in online dating, just like spying in any other activity online.
I would say privacy would be the #1 concern, specifically with the amount of information that is available online when you create a profile. And I think also there's traditional privacy issues, such as when you meet someone offline. You know, I think there's probably more fear from the woman's perspective of where you're going to meet the man at. Is it going to work? Is he going to be scary? You know, is there an escape route?
Yeah, there's obviously a little bit of a concern because you don't know this person, you just see pictures, right? So I think it's a little bit more complicated.
I think there's a lot of risks to online dating. I mean, there's like your sort of immediate physical risk of meeting someone that you don't know, that you've met online.
I think it's more difficult actually to ask someone out over the internet because they don't know you, they haven't seen you, so for all they care, you could be a complete fake person. You could be someone different, you could have an ulterior motive. So there's a little bit of a safety thing that plays in there, but also like authenticity.
So for those reasons, I just decided that it's really not for me. Maybe had I got, you know, a real date, it would have been different. But still, I can't imagine myself dating anybody that conforms to the structures of online dating, or Tinder in this case, because it's just not me. I'm a very personable guy and social, and I don't want to, you know, keep texting the person I like or I find attractive. I would much rather have a conversation.
I think the deeper risk is kind of a more existential one, which is what does society look like if online dating comes to dominate, or if face-to-face interaction becomes secondary and that kind of thing.
Like him.
How do I like him?
Just give him a heart.
Yay! I liked him.
Oh,
it's a match! I'm not actually.
Yay!
This is so entertaining. I can see why people do this. No.
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 Oh, he's kind of cute. No.
The fear was in the beginning of the early days of the internet is that we were becoming atomized, right? That we were beginning to not talk to each other, you know, in civic discussions. We weren't talking to our neighbors over our fences. You know, we weren't solving these sort of common problems face to face that the way that democracies have been made. But what they started to find is that we weren't really alienating ourselves from one another. We were connecting with one another. But it was the nature of the connection, the type of connection being electronic, was something that wasn't seen as particularly human. There was something deficient. It was less than face-to-face.
And the more plugged in you get, I think the farther you become from face-to-face. And I think really good communication and good relationships are built on, you know, intimacy and face-to-face trust, and I think you really lose something when you are looking at that person through a computer screen.
Now that makes sense in many ways, because when you're communicating through text, you know, 80% of communication is nonverbal, right? So 80% of what's happening between you and I right now, where it's not being said, it's not in my words. It's the way I sit, it's the way that you nod your head, it's all sorts of things, right?
Online dating and online interaction is bringing people together in a way that they hadn't before, having conversations they wouldn't otherwise have in real life, connecting with people they wouldn't otherwise connect with in real life. But it's also creating distance between people because you've inserted a medium in between relationships where maybe there wasn't one before.
It helps us connect. It doesn't replace our connections. Is like one way to think about it. People don't go on Plenty of Fish to stay on Plenty of Fish. They go on Plenty of Fish to get off Plenty of Fish, right? Same with Tinder, but they're just doing it more quickly.
I'm yelling timber, you better move, you better dance, let's make a night, you won't remember, I'll be the one, you won't forget.
Are we done?
I think I'm like 250.
What?
Washington, so I'm getting a house, isn't it?